Hi, everybody, and welcome to our live session. And today I'd like to talk about a topic which concerns many of us, parents and teachers, and it is about activities. So first of all, I'd like to thank all of you that sent me your questions in messages and private messages. And I will refer to all of them from the reason because there were many questions, but gladly most of them were about the same topic. So I can say there were a few questions asked by many parents. So let's dive. Does it sound familiar? Monday, dance lesson, Tuesday, swimming, Wednesday, tennis, Thursday, piano, Friday, drama, Saturday, football practice, Sunday, violin. And then there's homework, assignments, practice time. So my name is Zohara Rotem. I am a teacher trainer, a speaker, a soul purpose guide, a pianist, some more. But the thing which I really feel most passionate about, or one of the most passionate, is education. Education is really my passion. Working with children, parents, and teachers. And that's been my devotion in the last many years. And as an educator, my main concern is to see how concentration and the ability to focus, is actually really plummeting down in the last 20 years. And it seems that it gets actually worse in the, from the point that it's becoming really hard for children and parents and adults as well to concentrate. They say that if you want to put a video that people will watch, it should go above 1.5 minutes because that's the concentration span of people. I don't know, we might go into debate if it's true for everybody, if it's averagely true, but the fact that it appears somewhere tells us something. So as my main concern regarding concentration is really becoming bigger, I have been studied this topic and I'm still looking at it quite a lot from the point of view of a teacher and an educator, a mother, a grandmother, and so forth, and to see what are the contributions that we can bring every minute now. Now let's look about the activities. Why actually children have so many activities nowadays? And I know different people will have different answers to this, but I can gather a few things which are common, because also all of this is based on conversation and lectures and meetings and circles which I have with parents around the world, I should say. And what I'm getting, what I'm getting from parents when I ask, so what actually motivates you to give your child so many activities? This is what comes up. Some parents say it's available. Others say everyone does it. My child will have what to choose from. My child will be exposed to lots of things. I don't know what my child will do when she or he grows up, so I better give him everything that I can. Another one is, I didn't have all these options when I was young, so at least I can give this. This is the best I can do for my children. And last one, which I heard a lot, is children need to be busy most of the time. And if you have other things to add, feel free to write in the chat box what is your main reason of giving your child many activities. So let's look at one by one. Let's look at all of them. It's available. The fact that it's available does not mean it's good. There are many things which are available nowadays for our children, for ourselves, and not everything which is available is good. Actually, we all know that it's becoming harder and harder to choose what is good among all these available things. We are flooded with options. Marketing is becoming really aggressive. So everything which is available for your child, if you just Google one topic for your child, and I won't promote any of them, so I won't say a name, but choose a topic for your child and put it in the box, in the address box of Google, and you'll see how many options you're getting. Does it mean they're all good? Not necessarily. So let's take available. The fact that something is available is not necessarily good. The next one was everyone does it. Ooh, that's a big one. And we all know the culture of everyone. But everyone goes to school, everyone does ballet, everyone buys this car, everyone lives in this area, everyone shops in this shop, and so on. Everyone is a very big peer pressure for all of us. And again, a challenge in our society because we are so exposed to what everyone does on social media and such. We have even more challenging task to discern what we want to do that everyone does, or maybe even disconnect from what everyone does and just consult ourselves. What is really good for me? What is good for my family? What is good for my child? And everyone has got their own motives, their own interests. So I would put everyone does it also at the side. Here's the next one. My child will have what to choose from. Now, when we give children lots of activities, most likely what they will learn is how not to choose. It was much easier to shop 20 years ago. I remember going to the shop and getting a milk or getting biscuits or whatever I needed, or coffee, and I just maybe had one or two things to choose from. But nowadays, I can see so many times at the aisles, ladies and gentlemen standing there actually thinking, and then they mutter, too much to choose, too many things to choose from. So it has been proven that too much choice does not necessarily give us freedom. It actually makes us more confused, and it goes for everything. So when we are dealing with children who need to be guided and taught how to develop this sense of what is good for me, we need to be even more discerning. And really, this is our role as the adults in the life of the child to help them choose. Another one that I had was, and I hear a lot, is my child will be exposed to lots of things. It's not always the best thing. It depends what are all of these things. Now, we have to check a few points when we look at the things that are good for our children to be exposed to. One of them is distraction. I really urge you, parent, to check how much distraction these many things cause to your child, how much concentration it actually develops or promotes. And if your child is exposed to many things, he might become a little interested in everything, but he might actually be thrown away and pulled away from the thing which really interests him, or the thing that even he was meant to do, because he was born with this call, with this pull, with this gift. We will not talk a lot about this topic, but I'll just mention it because I can't go on with this topic without touching it. I believe, I would like to say I know, so maybe I'll say I know, that each and one of us is born with a gift, at least one, but I will say a gift. And this is a gift which the world is waiting for us to share. So yes, I know there is this notion that you can do whatever you want, but why should you? Why should you want to do everything? When you tune into yourself, and as I promised, I won't go deeper into this topic. It will be in other sessions that we will meet, and another topic. But as you tune into yourself, you find what is this gift that the world is waiting for you to share with. And the same goes for your child. So as a parent, you have I would like to say the privilege instead of saying the duty, because it's really a privilege to look into your child and to learn how to find this gift that your child was born. So this is not something that you're going to decide for your child. It's something that you're going to observe in your child and guide your child step by step how to reach there. But as I said, we will not delve into this now. I will stick to the topic. So the fact that I want my child to be exposed to lots of things is not really helpful. To be more discerning with the gift that your child has come to this earth to do. Here's another thing which parents say when they're being asked why so many activities for your children. I don't know what my child will do when she or he grows up, so I'd better give them everything which is there. In a way, I touched it in what I said in the previous one, but you can learn how to watch and study your child and help them find and develop their gift. Here is another one. I didn't have all these options when I was young, so at least I can give it to my children. For this, I can say with all my heart, if this is the agenda, you might put yourself into confusion. If you are trying to give your child the things that you wanted to do and you could not do as a child, you're not necessarily serving your child. How about you just give it to yourself now, what you can give yourself now? And by giving yourself now, by treating yourself with what you wanted to do as a child and couldn't or didn't have the tools or the circumstances, or your parents could not afford it, how about instead of this, just give it to yourself, and don't assume that what you needed is what your child needs today. One, the world has changed. Two, your child is a complete and whole human being. Yes, your child came to you for you to parent, but not necessarily has the same needs that you have. Another thing is when parents say, children need to be busy most of the time. Some of them say the whole time. Busy what? Busy doing what? Yes, I agree that children need to have time for daydreaming. Yes, daydreaming, so important. Not just allow daydreaming for a child, but encourage it. Daydreaming brings creativity. Daydreaming is the place that the child can really meet his soul, can meet the place in him that can live with himself for the rest of his life. Children also need time to develop imagination. You know that imagination Read what Einstein said, imagination is the best tool for learning. Children need time to spend with nature and in nature. Yes, so if parents tell me, but I would like my child to be busy, these are the things which I really promote being. But being busy in doing activities the whole time, no. So again, I'll go to what I said at the beginning. If a timetable like this sounds familiar to you, Monday, dance lesson, Tuesday, swimming lesson, Wednesday, tennis, Thursday, piano, Friday, drama, Saturday, football practice, Sunday, violin, and you just can swap and add whatever you want to add to this. If this is something which sounds familiar, I really encourage you to sit and think, do you really need all of this? Now, this is a wonderful time to refer to the questions which I got from the parents. And as I said at the beginning, I got quite a lot of questions, and they all revolved around the same topic, the same questions. So I could really summarize them for this session for 1, 2, 3 main questions. Isn't it interesting? Just to show us how the same things concern all of us. So here is a question that many of you asked. How do I know when what my child is doing is too much? That's a wonderful question, because if we are comparing or looking at what other people do, it might actually be the norm. So it might not be too much. I think this is my answer. I think this is a wonderful opportunity for you, parent, to practice how can I say it? To address or to get connected with what you feel, which is completely the gift that you can give your child. So let me say, I want you to feel if all these timetables that you have and all these activities that you have with the children, are you stressed because of this? Or is your child stressed? But just go back to yourself. It's much easier for you to look at how you feel. Are you stressed? And I'm almost seeing you shrugging or going, stressed. What's the question? Of course I'm stressed. I don't have time to breathe. So this is what I'd like to tell you. Please take the time to breathe. What a wonderful example you're giving to your child by showing your child that you yourself are not living life like in a rat race. How wonderful example you give your child by taking the time for yourself to sit and do nothing. 5 minutes, if this sounds too much, 3 minutes. Just sitting and looking at your child, just sitting and enjoying the company of your child, or just sitting and enjoying the birds or the sun, or just enjoying yourself. So if you teach yourself how to breathe, and I mean metaphorically speaking as well, your child will learn how to breathe. The best way for you to teach your child to breathe is by breathing yourself. So the answer to how do I know if it's too much, read your body map. Map your body and see how you feel. If you're stressed, that actually gives you a very good indication that something is going too much. Another question which I've been asked, I just have one more thing that I wanted to say about the first question. How do I know if it's too much? Your child needs the time to think, to process, to dream, to create, to play. And this is actually helping the child to get in touch with the desire inside. So do the same thing for yourself. Okay, let me go to the next question that many of you asked. But what if my child wants to do everything? Now, most likely this will happen because, as I said at the beginning, your child will bring but everyone does it. I would say this is really your time, parent, to practice your authority. Now, I know whenever I say in meeting parents, when I say the word authority, parents get, oh, don't give me this word, not authority, because many of us relate authority to something that comes from imposing something on you and not necessarily having the sensitivity. When I talk about authority that I'm encouraging parents to have is the authority to know what is the best for your child. And it doesn't come from I tell you what to do because it comes because you really know more than your child because you've lived here. You've lived for many more years. You have more tools. You have more ability to discern. You have more ability to look into your child's life and to see what is healthy for him or her and what is not. So I'm talking about authority, which comes from owning your role as a parent, from knowing what is the best for your child, but not as a blind, I know because I'm a parent. No, not because I'm a parent, because I have been living here for longer. And by the way, it's not something that you have to tell your child, because your child will not be very happy to hear it. But this is something that you have to act upon. This is something that you have to live your life from. Being a parent means that your child is very important for you, and it's a child-driven attitude. But child-driven means that you drive your child. You're not letting your child to sit behind the steering wheel and to take the car. You are taking the car to whatever serves the child. So this is the child-centered thing that I would like you to work from. And owning your role means mainly that you are exerting your authority from love and not from power. I'll say it again. You're exerting your authority. You're using authority from a place of love, not from a place of power. Sorry. And the last question, and please feel free if you're here joining us, if you're not watching it after the live, feel free to put more questions if in the box if you have any questions. And if not, you can always address them later in the group. So another question, the last question that many of you asked is, can you give me some guidelines to choose from that I can actually really know what's good for my child? These were mainly from parents. Sorry, this was mainly from parents who had a feeling that their child have quite a lot of activities and maybe too many. And they wanted to hear what will be the guidelines to choose which activity to continue with and which activity to drop. So I came up with 4 ideas that you might check with the activities that you're not sure they're really necessary. And you might have your own list. But this is what I thought. One of them is check, is this activity serving as a gift for life? I think this is one of the main things which I would look into, which means, will your child be able to do it until very old age? You know that piano is my instrument. And of course, I'm biased when it comes to piano, when it comes to music as well. But I'll talk about piano because that's the instrument which is close to my heart. I remember a few years ago when I went to visit a very old lady. She was 98. She lived in a retirement village. She just moved actually to the retirement village, and she had a very tiny flat there. And when I came into her flat, there was a small living area that was occupied almost fully by her grand piano. And I just came into the room and I felt joy. And I asked her, is it okay for you to leave when you hardly have place to move around? Because she was moving around the piano. She put it in the middle of the room, of the living area, because that was the only place that she could fit it in. And I said to her, is it okay? Is it comfortable for you? And she said, comfortable? You're talking to me about comfortable? That's the center of my life. And the center of my life is in the center of my room. Now, she was not previously, in her past, she was not a professional pianist. She was not a piano teacher. She was what she called herself, an amateur musician. She played since she said, if I remember right, since she was 10 years old or something like this. But as she went on, she realized that there's so many things that she needs to drop, but not music. So she said, my intention is to play the piano until I die or until I can't move my fingers. But she said very proudly, I don't think it's going to happen because I make sure that every day I play the piano and my arthritis has improved. Yeah, so definitely if her mother said to her, because you don't practice the piano, I decided to take it away from you. And instead, maybe you should go and do some other sport. In case, like when I'm not against sport, please don't get me wrong. But I could feel, I think, just to think of the gift that this woman had, because she could continue doing piano until she dies as she wants. And it doesn't have to be only piano, but anything, any activity which really yields for the future of your child, and not necessarily as career, everything that your child will be able to do until old age. Another point that can help you as a guideline is, does it enrich her or his inner life? Because it's important for us to help our children to find tools to enrich their inner life. These places in them that they don't need anybody else, but they can really live in their own self-sufficient being. Another point is, does it make your child feel better about him or her? About himself or herself? We want our children to build an inner data that will give them the tools that I can do it, but not from a sense of competition with others. It's if I can. Again, I'll give you an example which is close to my life, to my heart, piano. If I could accomplish learning this piece of music, I have a data of success. As Dr. Suzuki said, success breeds success. So every small or big success which I have is sitting in the bank of success, and I take from there in order to achieve my next accomplishment. And the last point which you can use is, does it develop creativity in your child? We know that we are really working around our society in developing thinking, mental capacities, and so forth, and body capacities and so forth. And I think we need to allow more time to develop creativity. Creativity goes hand in hand with life. And creativity, when your child is doing things which help him develop his creativity, he can do the application for everything in life. So I thank you for your patience. I thank you for participating. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your questions. I just love sitting in a circle, if it's a virtual circle or a live circle with you. And in the future, watch the space. In the future, I'm going to... Hi, Chrissy. In the future, I'm going to allow and bring more topics to this. It might be either in this group, the parenting circle, group, or it might be in the Zohara Rotem page, or you might get more information if you join. Thank you, Chrissy. Love you too. And you might join zohararotem.com, my mailing list on my web page, on my website. As you notice, I'm not going to bombard you with newsletters. That's not my type. But whenever there's something important happening, I will actually send you. So it's good to keep in touch, because I love to stay in touch with all of you, but sometimes I might forget that you're there. Thank you, Deb. So beautiful to have you here. So good to see people from many years ago, people that I've been working along and having relationship of this kind and other on soul level. So I promise not to go above the 30 minutes, and we are already a little bit above. So I will say goodbye now here, and you can always share it with people that you feel will be interested. And feel free to be in touch, because I really love having you in my life. All the best for now. Bye-bye.